Lowdown. It's all brought to you by Pickdawgz.com. Please click the like and subscribe button. That'll help us out. And if you click the notification button, it'll let you know anytime one of these gets posted. Let me talk about the Concrete Inner Circle. If you like making big bets, I think this would be the place for you. If you text Inner Circle to the number you see there, you can find out more about it. Like I said, it's a little pricey, but it's a rated system that I've been using. Another winning day yesterday. Excuse me. Did miss my top overall play with Central Florida, which, frustrating, but I ended up hitting the next ones in line to really kind of offset a lot of that, and even some of my smaller plays hit. So it was a winning day. It wasn't like a huge day, but anytime, we're making money, I'm okay with it. We will have those moments where you're like, man, it could have been so good. Could have been so good. Sorry, my dog's sniffing around back there. Check it out if you guys are interested in it, and it's something that I feel like we've done a good job with it so far, and I plan on keep trying to stack some W's here. Got to be honest, though, the NBA has not been kind to me. And no, it's not a point where I'm like, oh, my God, I'm picking these games wrong, and I'm doing – it's just like the weird stuff that tends to happen with NBA games. And I put my plays up early, so sometimes I'm going to get the benefit of the line. Sometimes you can get screwed, especially with the NBA with, oh, guess who's not playing? Surprise, the line just moved 7 points. We didn't have anything like that. I did put my Hornets over up, excuse me, before the LaMelo Ball news came out, and I already assumed that I don't want to say assumed, LaMelo Ball wasn't playing last night. It was doubtful. So I don't know if that's why the line moved as much as it did, because it really didn't make sense to me. But depending on when you got the line, you could have won, lost, and then they scored 41 points combined in the third quarter. After, I don't even want to tell you what they scored in the first. I mean, it looked like this game looked like they were going to walk to the over. Like, you wouldn't have any issue with it. Also had, some other games where just poor shooting happens. I had the Thunder under 232.5, and if you got the play early, you lost. If you got it somewhere in the middle of the day, you pushed. And if you got it later, you probably won. So I lost that one. Yeah, and those are 3 NBA plays that I had. I lost the Hawks, too, but I 2-1 in college football, hit some college basketball. I talked about Cornell being my favorite play. I didn't make it an NHL play, but I did hit I would have hit. I talked about it on the morning show had we taken the Rangers, but I scratched it off. But Cornell, as I talked about yesterday, I don't want you guys to think every game's going to be, 110 to 102. But this is what they do. They play fast, and especially, you have to watch what the types of opponents are playing. If you run into a team that just can't score, they should still be able to, pick up points on Cornell. But you have a team that gets ahead and they want to slow down the game, essentially take the air out of the ball, as they say. That's a possibility as well. Yesterday, like I said, it ended up being a winning day because of how I had my games ranked. But we'll get into today because there's just so much that I liked for Saturday and some interesting stuff for Sunday. So I'm going to give you some of these plays here that I have. Let's start it off with what I liked on Saturday. I was all over Texas Tech, the Maryland over, Kentucky, Notre Dame, the Iowa under. I like Texas and Louisiana over 63.5. I like the Ottawa and Philly under. I went back to the well with the Miami Heat going over 240.5 against Portland. They just play so fast now. It's ridiculous. In college hoops, I liked San Francisco. I liked Arkansas over MSU, St. John's. I like them to pull off their win against Bama, and Toledo Marshall over the 160.5. So that's everything for Saturday, in case you guys want to go back and check. I don't know why I always do that, but I always feel like I should. Kind of give you an idea, like you're watching it and you're going, oh, he hit that. Ugh, he missed that. Whatever. So let's dive into these football games. Again, I'm going to try to keep this. I always say I'm going to try to keep it shorter. It's just been crazy. I got a baby shower today. I'm emceeing a wing eating contest. Had a buddy that I used to play flag football with. I think Costi played against him too. It's funny because, I've said this before. I know I don't look like I can play sports. I was a decent athlete. And my flag football team, whenever you would watch them, you would look at us going, all right, who are these jokers over here playing against the meatheads over there? And, honestly, almost 10 times out of 10 times, we'd beat the meatheads' ass. They'd get us every once in a while. They were all good athletes, all college athletes, and we've played together so long, everybody knows everybody, and you run good routes, you catch the ball, we're going to move it. So So anyway, the long and short of this is I had a team named Mayhem, and we played a team called Jacked Up the Meatheads. And the middle linebacker on the other team, you're only supposed to be able to chuck guys at the line of scrimmage, so you can bump them there. I call it light petting. Like, you can't grab a guy and hold on to him and drive him into the ground, but you can, like, pop him, and the refs won't say anything. So you're not supposed to get hit a couple times. So I would get hit by the guy that's rushing the quarterback. And then when I got to the linebacker, this guy, my buddy Jimmy, would pop me. He'd hit me. He'd grab me. He'd do anything he could to try to just throw me off of my route. And it's funny. It became a joke whenever we played them. I was like, all right, how many of you guys are grabbing me? Who's got the fat old white guy? You can't contain him. And we would always have these moments. So I know I'm going to give you a long roundabout story. Hopefully you enjoy this type of stuff. But what happened was I lost half of my team. As you get older, guys start going in different directions. I mean, I've played flag football since 2000s, I'd say. Right around 2000, 2001, I started playing. I played for 23 years and played in some really competitive leagues. There were former NFL players in some of our leagues. Some of them would come down and watch because their relatives were in our leagues. Like, it's not just a bunch of guys getting together for Thanksgiving football. There were really good athletes and former college athletes out there. So what happened was we lose half our team, and then I look at Jacked Up, who'd lost a couple of their players, and then they joined us, and then we created a powerhouse team when we had a chance. I mean, we were demolishing everybody at one point, and then we get into the playoffs undefeated, and none of our guys show up because it was just like one of those days where it's like bad timing. But one of our playoff games, Jimmy had a drug problem. And so like he came, so Jimmy ended up becoming like my protector. So remember I told you they would bump me. He would not let anybody put their hands on me and the other team. He's a big dude, just a fun guy, huge Ravens fan. He would call my radio show as Jay-Z, and he would use jerky boy lines. He'd go, hey there, beefy tits. Hey, milky liquor. What are you doing today? Who do you like in the Ravens game? And he'd just bust my balls. And I know I'm rambling here. This is a long roundabout story, but I really did love the guy and developed this friendship with him. But he showed up to one of our playoff games just high off his ass, and he got 2 personal fouls in the first 2 minutes. And then I had to grab him and tell him to leave. So the only reason I bring that up is he had a drug problem, and it got worse and worse and worse. His family, amazing family. Jimmy was supposed to be the next guy in line to be the funeral director for his father. His father was going to retire, give the business over to him. So Jimmy was going to go into rehab. The night before he goes into rehab, he goes for one last bender and essentially gets, I guess what you could say, a hot shot. I think some fentanyl or something. They found him dead. So his family, I mean, as broken as they were, put together this nice little thing that they're doing called Hoffa beans, because that's what he would go by, Jimmy Hoffa. So he called himself Hoffa. And they were selling like coffee beans and stuff to raise money for addiction. And like, this is stuff like in my life, the more and more I talk about my personal life and things that go on, it's kind of a wild one. My story is way different than everyone else's, and it's interesting. I've talked about my issues with depression and things that I've had. I don't mind saying this. I had a suicide attempt 2 years ago. My depression got really bad. And when I say like really bad, I mean, I essentially have the same thing that the Cowboys player that just killed himself had. So where it's like you talk about suicidality and suicide ideation, it's where you just think about it all the time and you can't turn your brain off. Like negative thoughts, all those things. So I have great coping mechanisms. I'm in a phenomenal place right now. If I tell you guys all the things that I've done, I'm going to list a bunch of letters and EMDR I'm in. I'm doing TMS right now, which is like such a trippy ass thing. And so is EMDR. EMDR is basically, how do I want to put it? Hypnotizing your brain. You hold these things that are vibrating and it's bilateral stimulation. And then you go through old memories. And as you're going through those old memories, it's weird how much you end up remembering, and things that you didn't remember that you actually did and you didn't know you did, they pop up and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. It sounds so stupid, guys, and it works. I actually did a ketamine treatment, which was interesting. I did 3 of those, and I have issues with anesthesia. So the second and third one, I threw up nonstop, and the third one I could not stop throwing up during the actual procedure. So been a couple interesting years, but I talk about it. I'm not like, it's not an embarrassing thing. Like if something in my life can help somebody else, great. But it does affect me, and then seeing my buddy Jimmy pass away. So anytime his family asks me to do anything, see, I told you this long-ass story to get to this short point. I'm emceeing a wing eating contest on Sunday. And it's in honor of Jimmy. It's raising money for addiction awareness, and it's all types of addiction, guys. Drugs, gambling. So yeah, it's something to kind of take serious. I've had this stuff cross my life. God, if I could, I'm not, I'm going to talk about the football games, because if I start talking about my life, this is going to be, I'm about to kick my feet up and tell some really, really just unbelievably sad stories. So let's get into the NFL games. I know you guys, so there's some people going, okay, can I fast forward through this? Yes. I wish I could go back and tell you to fast forward to the 10:30 mark, but here we go. Let's dive right into these games. I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to roll right through it. A couple of prop plays, a couple of things I just want to point out. I do think we have 3 unbelievable overplays today. I think the London game is interesting for an overplay, but the other 2 are just, I think they're chef's kisses. I know a lot of, or London play, the Germany play. I know a lot of people, when it goes overseas, they don't like betting overs because they think the field's slower, and I get that. It is, especially in London. But in Germany, I think we've had some high scoring games, so I don't sweat that. I don't worry about that. We've had some bad teams over there. And now we get 2 offenses that can put up points, and maybe the 2 best running backs in football, depending on who you ask. So we're going to start off with the Saints at the Panthers. By the way, all those premium plays are up. If you want to get into if you buy the 3-day pass or the NFL pass, whatever, those plays are up. All my totals, all the other games that I love, my best bet for the week, which my favorite play. And there's another game where I think the wrong team's favored. I'm not going to talk about that one here. I think it's a doozy, and I think people are going to be on the wrong side. And I'm surprised when I looked at the point spread and the money coming in, and then it just kind of like with Texas Tech, when I saw everything that was going on, it's like, oh, the undefeated team that's ranked 8 in the country is an 11.5 point underdog to another ranked team. Yeah, there's a disparity in talent here. So we'll see how it plays out. But with the first game we're going to talk about, Saints at the Panthers. Let me do this. These things are jumping around here. Come on, my screen's moving around. I just realized I didn't write down one of the spreads, which is always helpful to have those. All right, I'm good. What a day I'm having, man. All right, here we go. We're going to start off with the Saints and the Panthers. I know, yuck. Panthers favored by 5.5. The total's 38.5. This is not a game I'm betting, and simply because I found so much stuff I like in the NFL, it was really hard for me to kind of talk about games that I wouldn't be giving away something. So, yes, the free play is a freemium. Yes, I do. I'll tell you the plays that I do like once we get there. And I do have a premium play on the Pitt Chargers game, so I'm going to give out a prop play that I love in that game. So hopefully that's okay with you guys. It is a prop play I'm betting. So consider that another freemium, because I don't charge for the prop plays. I just add them to games instead of adding them up there for people to pay for. It's just something I do with my work and writing it down. If I find something I like, I jot it. Like you guys can literally see. I mean, I wish I could just lift this up. These are all my gamblings. My wife hates me. I got to go through these and just throw them. I don't have to go through them. I just have to throw them out. This is just day upon day upon day of doing the same shit over and over. All right, so I think the under's the right side of this. Tyler Shock sucks. Spencer Rattler, that's kind of I don't want to say the shine came off of that, but like when you look at the way he was playing, he wasn't turning the ball over. And then in a span of 2 games, I think he turned it over 6 or 7 times. So it got kind of ugly there. But I do think the under's the right side of it. Again, not a game I'm betting. A game I will be betting, Baltimore at Minnesota. The Ravens are favored by 4.5. I have 2 prop plays to go along with this one. Total's 48.5. I will say this. I do think the over is interesting. The one caveat and the reason why I'm not betting the total is, as we look at it, if you go back to one of Lamar's worst games he ever had, it was a short week on a Thursday night against the Miami Dolphins. The Miami Dolphins ran cover 0 against him the whole time. If you don't know what cover 0 is, basically they're blitzing everybody and somebody has a man on the outside. They're blitzing everybody. You got to figure out who you're going to block. So it means make a quick decision, or if one of your guys can win one-on-one, then it's going to stop those teams from going cover 0. And it shocked Lamar in that game, and it was the worst game I've ever seen him play. And then every team after that started to run cover 0. And slowly but surely, you figure it out, figure out the places you want to go. You set up some screen passes if you know they're going to blitz the whole time. So you have something in place. And then now with all these guys running upfield, there are ways to beat it. It's just the Ravens weren't really good to deal with it, or really good at dealing with it when it first started. So I think the Vikings are an interesting dog here. I would tell you it's a play for me. Vikings plus the points. I know it's a scary button to push because this Ravens team's offense can really just kick it into gear. I like Derrick Henry over his rushing prop, which surprisingly, it's 70 and a half yards. With Lamar being back there, it just takes one. He's going to get his, unless the Vikings started blowing them out, which I don't expect, but he's going to get his 15 to 20 carries. And yeah, sure, he's going to have a couple here and there, but he is going to hit a 35-yarder that just offsets everything and makes this very manageable. And no, I can't guarantee he's going to have a 35-yard run, but with Lamar back there, he tends to break one. Whether it's a 20-yard run, a 60-yarder, I just think the number's too low for the impact that Lamar has on the running game. So I would take him over. If you haven't heard me talk about it, I'm a Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase truther, and I know, it's easy to say that. I love those guys since college. I said I would have taken them with the number 1 overall pick had I been picking in either one of those drafts, which pisses me off the Eagles still didn't draft him and let Justin Jefferson slide. But I think the Bengals did the right thing by not taking Penny Sewell. They sure could use a Penny Sewell, but Penny Sewell is no Jamar Chase in my opinion. So yeah, I like the Vikings plus the points, and I like Derrick Henry over rush yards, Justin Jefferson over receiving yards. And just to let you know, my algorithm has Justin Jefferson over 100 yards receiving in this game, and his prop, to be exact, I just didn't write it down there. Hang on. I got it right here. His prop in Vegas is 71 and a half yards. It's too low. It's too low. All right, let's go to Pittsburgh and the Chargers. Take the Chargers. Sorry. -2.5. They told me that story about the guy they were asking, giving out Halloween candy, and they were talking gambling. He said, "What are you giving out?" And then he gave out Take the Chargers. He's like, "No, we meant what kind of candy." This is funny. All right, so 44.5 is the total here. The play I'm going to give you in this game is DK Metcalf under receptions. Now, it's juiced up. My model has him at 4 or just under 4. So it's weird. If you're finding 3.5s out there, that's going to be heavily juiced up too, because honestly, I think he lands right on the number of 4. And you may say, why are you betting it if that's what he lands on? I mean, I could see anything happening in this game. I mean, the Chargers defense has been otherworldly. They've shut down every tight end they've faced almost, depending on what you consider shutting down. I mean, when they faced Brock Bowers, he had 8 receptions for 30-some yards. I just think this is a good spot to bet the DK Metcalf under. And I'd say this too. I say just be careful. The NFL, people do this all the time. Whatever you just did is who you are. You're going to hear me say that a lot, and it drives me nuts. Like we were talking about the Falcons. Oh my God, the Patriots are going to destroy them because the Falcons lost 30-0 to the Dolphins. Okay, well, that game it's a singular game. If they played 10 times, do you think that happens 10 times against the Dolphins? No. They're better than that. And the Falcons are an extremely disappointing team, don't get me wrong. But I don't buy into that. I don't look at your last game and say that's who you are. I like data. I'm going to take more games and try to figure out who you are or see how you match up. But yeah, DK Metcalf under 4.5 receptions would be my play there. All right, Cardinals at Seahawks. And this is a freemium. Seahawks -6.5, totals 44.5. And I'm going to give out a prop play I like in this game. So, conventional wisdom, Cardinals coming off of Monday Night Football. You guys know I like to bet against teams on Monday Night Football. I'm not betting against those teams, or I'm not betting against the Cardinals in this spot. Seattle's been great. They've kind of handled everybody. It is a divisional game, which is why I'm not touching the points here. I think the total is the way to go. If you look at the Cardinals defense and what they did against the Cowboys, and again, this isn't me saying, hey, the defense is good, but they did get their first round pick back, who hadn't played all year on the defensive line. He got a sack in the game. And I think their defense is better than you think. It's just a matter of, is the offense going to leave them hanging out to dry? And it sounds like Jacoby Brissett's going to be moving forward. He loves to throw to McBride, and he loves to throw to Marvin Harrison Jr., or at least he did on Monday night. I'm going to tell you to take Marvin Harrison Jr. under receptions at 4.5. I think it's a good play. And I know, trust me, guys, people look at this. You're going to hear me say under receptions a lot, and you're going to go, oh, my God, you like under receptions there? I think you'd be surprised at how many times the under hits on these prop bets. Like, guys can have – Marvin Harrison could have an amazing game and have 80 yards and 2 touchdowns and 4 catches. Like, it's just – it happens all the time. I've seen guys pick up 4 catches on the first drive and not get one the rest of the game. You know, like it's just weird, but I do think there's inherent value in taking unders, especially when it comes to receptions. And Marvin Harrison was one of my favorite receivers coming in that draft. I do like him under 4.5 receptions, but my freemium, take the under. I think the Cardinals defense is better than you think. We all know what Seattle's defense is capable of doing, and I'm not the least bit afraid of Jacoby Brissett. I mean, Michael, we've talked about this. Mike McDaniel down in Miami is one of my favorite offensive coordinators, like play designers in the league. I think Liam Cohen is brilliant as well. But on the defensive side, there's not many young guys you talk about saying this guy or that guy. Mike McDonald is that dude when it comes to defense. He will take less than and beat, better teams. His scheme, the way he coaches. I was one of the few guys that said, I know I can't say this. I would get rid of Harbaugh today and give that guy the head coaching job. And you know what people are saying in Baltimore now? Man, I wish we had Mike McDonald. Guy's just really good. So the freemium, the under in the Cardinals Seahawks. So I think I've given out a ton of freemiums this week. Most of them hit. I know somebody had posted when I was talking about, some of the games and winning, losing, going back to the other night, talking about the college football game that ended up being a shootout. Unless I talk about the games that I made a play on the site. So that's why you don't hear me recap all the other games that I went over the previous day. I mean, you guys know how those did. But I like to tell you, if you didn't purchase like what I was doing, I know you can go on there and see it, but I don't know. It's just something I like to recap and what I was looking at, what went right, what went wrong. So, all right, guys, I said it was going to be a short one, and here we are at 22 minutes. This is just beautiful. Make sure you head over to Pickdawgz.com. Appreciate you guys watching. It's got all the premium plays over there, as I said. NFL plays. There's a ton of great cappers. You can check out the leaderboard, see who's doing what. You can see who's been hot the past couple days. I mean, I get that's what a lot of people do, but I still think the best way to do it is to go after someone or find the guys you trust. And you save money on the longer packages, but it is what it is. I don't like telling people how to spend their money. I don't even like telling people to spend money on picks, but it's the business, I guess. So appreciate you guys checking this out. Definitely check out Pickdawgz.com. I'll be back tomorrow with another podcast.